Okay, welcome back. This is our hip thrust demo. So, hip thrusts, you are going to need a bench, a step. I'm going to use the couch because that's the closest thing I've got here for all of these. So I'm going to show you first in body weight, make sure all the bits are in the right place, and then we're going to go ahead and use some weights. So, get to your chosen bench. A Reebok step or something like that is ideal. Might be a little lower, but that's okay as long as your shoulders can be raised. So you're going to sit on the floor next to your bench. I keep calling it a bench at the moment. And you want to get comfortable on the edge of the bench, so obviously the couch is a lot squishier and softer. But if you're using a harder bench, you want to feel it right just at the point of your shoulder blades across your back. Okay, so there, and make sure you're nice and close in. So your feet and knees will be at hip width apart, don't let them come together. And your toes pointing dead straight forward, okay? So what we're going to do is basically like a glute bridge. You're going to lift your hips up and down to the floor with a big old glute squeeze. So, to make sure you're in the right place, you might have to do a few adjustments until you get used to these, is that you're going to make sure your weight is on your bench. If you can use your elbows for the first one, just to give you a bit of stability until you get comfortable with it. And you're going to lift the bum up. Now at this point, just pause and make sure your feet are at the right distance, because you don't want them to be out too far, creating that bigger angle in the knee. And you don't want them to be right in under your bum either. You want, this is another one where a mirror is useful, or a spotter if you've got someone to help you. You want 90 degrees in the knees and the thighs parallel to the floor. So that's not all we have to think about. The upper body, so you can overcook these and overextend them, and that would look like this. Okay, so I've let my ribs flare up, my head is right back. This is wrong, this is not where you want to be, because I'm now arching and overextending through my spine. So the whole time you're doing hip thrusts, put your finger, not actually do this, but imagine finger on the sternum, so right between your boobs. From there to the tip of my head should never change angle, it should always be here. So here's a couple of reps with that. So this stays, bum touches the floor. Yes, you'll feel your spine arch here, but when you're lifting the weight, or your hip weight, your bum weight, that is when your back comes into this position, squeeze, and that is your maximum height. Okay, I'm squeezing my bum like crazy. That's the important bit. That's the bit that's lifting the hips. Any higher, pop. Ribs have come up. You're doing it wrong. Okay, so your eyes should always be forward, never at the sky. Forward. Okay, so this bit stays. Touch floor, butt squeeze. Touch floor, butt squeeze. The other thing to make sure is that you're pushing equally through both heels. So another thing I always say to my clients is imagine there's little kittens' paws, if you don't like kittens, puppies. Little paws under your toes, and if you press down through your toes, you're going to crush them, okay? Don't crush puppies or kittens, please. So, nice light toes, even lift them, depends how much weight you're lifting, or if you're doing body weight, let's go. So make sure as well that your knees are equal, you've not got one in the middle, one out to the side, nice straight lines in front of the hip bones and shoulders, and that you're pressing equally through both feet. So, if you have only one object, for lifting some weight, once you've mastered the body weight technique, you're going to place that, so on the floor, it's going to be, the most of the length of it is on my thighs, the heaviest part towards the hips, okay? So again, you can use your elbows to get up for the first rep, if you need to, and same thing applies. You're lifting through the seat, you come up, it's dirty, so at full top of the range, we're 90 degrees in the knees, the head and sternum pointing forward, and we're squeezing from the booty. Now that I'm up here, you want the weight across where the hip bones are mostly. Get comfortable, and then start your reps. Squeeze. It really depends on the shape of your object. You have to get comfortable with it. Make sure you're doing that booty squeeze. Okay, so that's with your single object. If you only have 2 dumbbells or 2 kettlebells, take one in each hand, and again, one on each hip bone. Get comfortable, set those feet up, and then lift. Keeping those eyes forward, maximum booty squeeze, cracking those peanuts. Okay? There's your 2 objects. If you have no objects, or you fancy a bit of a variation or extra challenge, get your glute band on. So we're going to place that just above the knees, literally into that knee crease, okay? Set up your feet at hip width, keeping that tension, that's where the important bit is in this. So you want to keep the knees pushing as wide apart as they can, as much as you can force that band as you rep up and down. Squeeze, get sure you're on the bottom of the shoulder blades. If you start sliding down up into the shoulders, you're going to end up hurting your neck and it's all going to go a bit wonky. So make sure you reset nice and close, bottom of the shoulder blades, push through the heels and squeeze like hell. Keep that band tight, you're forcing those knees out when you're using this band. Spice it up a little bit, you go down, up, and then pulse the knees apart. Down, up, pulse the knees apart, but keeping that upper body pointing forward. Okay, so this is our hip thrust. Hopefully we're going to start to feel the beauty already. Okay, are we ready to do the real thing for the day? We've got 30 days of this. The day of the week dictates how many reps. So today for me is Saturday. I believe that makes 80 reps of each. Buzz in, let's go.